rated M for mature.
Session Rob from Game Videos. We got a new camera. We're gonna take it to TGS with us. We're gonna see what we can find, what we can shoot, and we're gonna take you with us. We just woke up. Rob is in the shower, which you're gonna see in a minute. No, I'm just kidding. But we woke up in our hotel, and the view, since we opened the window, is stunning. You have to check it out for yourself.
There's no towels in here.
Oh my god! Rob, clothes! Balls, please!
Work へ行きたくない学校なんかつまんないみんなで一緒にテレビゲーム遊びたい遊びたいどこでも行っても同じだみんなで歌を歌うんだみんなで一緒にテレビゲーム遊んだらどうだら One up show を見ましょう One up show で遊ぼう One up show Wow すごい One up show やったよこれはワンアップショーです
Gotta go down the ramen basement. Don't fall, Rob. Here's what's really awesome about this place. So you have a vending machine-like setup. $7.50 is the base. So you start out putting in 1, 2, 3, 4. Coin. It's okay. So I got $9.50 in there. $7.50 is the base. Press that. That's a one card that prints out, right? Then I'll say I want a lot extra noodles. Another $1.50. There's a second card in there. Last thing, I think I'm gonna get some green onions in there. Okay, so I put in 100 more yen. Spits out the cards. These are your meal tickets. Looks like a good spot. Take a seat in a little private booth. Just ask for a English menu, considering they only give you a Japanese one to begin with. You get to fill out exactly how you want your ramen. Flavor, strong. Let's see, richness, fat content, medium, garlic, half a clove, green onion, strong green onion. Now, roasted pork fillet with secret sauce. Let's put half. And last one, what I think matters the most, is the noodle tenderness. I like it firm. Turn that in. Domo arigato. Domo arigato. So the best thing about this is that this is the ultimate practice in solitary eating, because you get your own little cubicle. They close the screen so you don't even have to look at them when you eat. You just have your little zen moment with your ramen, and trust me, it's delicious.
So like seriously, this is all the only fucking mic they left us?
Yeah.
Like we don't have a boom pole, like dude, I'm fucking using a cable. They took all our wireless shit. Like fucking, this will work. We'll manufacture a boom pole. Hey, Fresh, come over here. We need you to like tape up a boom pole for us.
This might be one of the best ideas we've ever had.
This is brilliant.
Nice.
One's done right, right?
All right.
Let's try it.
This is definitely the most ghetto shit we have done, Jason, and the many times I've done this with you.
Wait, are we starting the chat? Where's the chunk?
Well, Ryan, why don't we do a do-over then for you there, bud?
I wanted to see.
So we
Do-over.
get some better sounds.
Here, wait, hold on. Totally a quarter on the floor.
This is also gonna make.
Alright, we good?
Yep.
Alright, Ryan, tell us why you think Warhammer's awesome. Enough to write a blog post about it.
Dang. Well, the PvP in the game, it's cool right from level 1. The world objectives and stuff in the game, each map has a bunch of hot spots that if your side takes these hot spots, it has sort of beneficial results for the rest of the people on your team in that zone. Like it increases some of the different kinds of experience you can get, and it lets you access certain vendors and stuff. So there's like a real incentive to PvP in the world. And there's all these sort of like WoW battleground-ish PvP scenarios that you can just jump in from anywhere on the map, and you can level up from those actually pretty quickly. So that sort of plays to what I like in it.
It's probably the quickest way to level up. I mean, I was leveling up a character on the destruction side, and the scenario queues were kind of slow, so I re-rolled and tried an order character on another server, and leveling a lot faster just because I can get into scenarios like almost at will.
What kind of character are you playing? What's your main?
I'm an Iron Breaker on the order side, and a Black Orc on destruction side, so both tank classes. Tanks are really interesting in PvP. Like in WoW, the whole tanking aspect of tanking classes goes out the window when it comes to PvP. But in Warhammer, with the collision detection, you can actually like physically get in the way of people.
In the original EverQuest, you could do that. You could be like one of the barbarian classes and you could go stand in a doorway and just block it, so no one could escape while the rest of your people just killed them. That's what we used to do all the time.
It's nice to have that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then you also have some abilities where you're able to share damage between like particular players on your side.
Some pretty crazy knockback abilities too, right? You know, they can throw you off some buildings. It gets super annoying. I can see how that'd be useful.
The thing that I'm finding really interesting about the game is that in MMOs, I usually just kind of solo quests, and that's just kind of the thing I'm interested in. I'm interested in having people there just to talk to while I'm doing stuff, sort of. And I've never gotten into the PvP aspect of it.
Nobody really talks in this game. It's very, very eerie. They've sort of over-automated a lot of the social aspects of the game.
If you do want to be in a group, there's just a button that you click, and then it shows you all the open groups in the area, and you can join any group, and you're just in that group then. And like even I've been doing that for public quests. I mean, as somebody who, like I said, I mostly do a lot of solo questing. I've been really surprised with how much I like the public quests, because when I first had them described to me, I was a little bit skeptical. But they work really great. Basically, you go into any random area. Each public quest then has like 3 steps that are progressively harder. So like the first step, you're just killing a bunch of these random like low-level enemies. And once you've killed enough of them, or once everybody in the area has killed enough of them, because it's everybody in the area is contributing to the quest, then it goes on to the next step, which may be like, maybe for that you're killing like some named guys or some elite mobs or something, and then for the final one you're usually killing some special boss character, and that you all have to team up on. But yeah, it works really well. Like the whole grouping thing that we mentioned works perfectly. I'll just join in whatever group is in the area working on it. And we don't talk at all, even once I'm in the group. We're just doing the public quest. We don't have to really say anything.
So do you think that like having those easier options has like hurt the social aspect of it? Like it's easier to find a group, but it's harder to find a group that touches you in a way that's special.
Well, I mean, on like the plus side, like the people who I have talked to have all been really cool, and I've ended up like adding them to my friends list.
You can't filter out a lot of the sort of the noise that goes into the chat window. Such and such rolled this for this item, or the person who sends me a tell to tell me how competitive WoW 7 Gold's current prices are.
like I was saying, I don't normally do PvP in the games, but I think like just as a way of showing how great the PvP is in this, like I actually have been interested in the PvP here, and I have been participating in it quite a bit.
I was gonna say, I'm looking forward to like actually getting in there and finally doing the PvP with Rory and all those guys.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like when it came to Age of Conan, we were pretty tyrannical about our guild. And like, you know, we just asked, but even in that, we had to ask people for money for our guild city. But in this, you can just start a guild tax eventually. So I can just start making it so every kill they do, they get taxed to be in our guild. Exactly.
Nice.
The opportunity there is pretty cool.
As much as I sort of enjoy, you know, playing with other people in World of Warcraft, I hate having to do the whole instance grinding thing just to get a piece of gear.
You don't think that won't be the case though, as like more and more people hit like level 40, and so everyone's like getting all the top end shit, and then it's literally gonna boil down to like, you know, in PvP who has the crazier gear, in a sense. Like,
I would say at this point, but you know, you get gear just by logging in hours of PvP. You kind of gain access to like new and better levels of gear. But, you know, I'm not sure how it's going to shake out at 40.
Well, I like that the PvE, the zones, like there's completely different PvE tracks for the different races. So, like, you know, if I roll an alt, I'm not going through the same damn content again.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's roughly equivalent, whatever, how different can it be, but at least it's something new to see. So that's pretty cool.
so do you see this being something that you're actually going to stick with? Because, like, everyone tried Age of Conan, we all stuck with it for like 2 months, and then we all just kind of like got over what made it kind of unique. I mean, do you think like the PvP, which sounds like it's mainly the thing keeping you there, do you think it's gonna like be like the next MMO for you, like the way WoW was?
Well, I mean, this game kind of prioritizes things in a way that appeals to me a lot. Lord of the Rings Online and Age of Conan, both of those, the first time I played them, you know, I knew in the back of my mind, like, well, I'm not going to be leaving WoW for this. Because those are just sort of like Me Too WoW games, which I think, you know, there's a little bit of that going on with Warhammer Online, but I don't think to the same degree, just because of the way the PvP works. It's a lot more interesting to me. So this is a game that I could, if it holds up in the later levels as well as it has so far, this is a game I could see sort of supplanting WoW as my primary MMO.
I'm really not quite sure. You know, things are kind of a lull right now for World of Warcraft, and you know, I mean, I'll have to check it out when Wrath of the Lich King comes out. But Warhammer definitely also really appeals to me because I mainly play WoW for the PvP aspects of it, and there's a lot of things lacking in Warcraft when it comes to PvP. So
I think that the biggest problem that Warhammer Online faces is just that Wrath of the Lich King is coming so soon. And like, I think it's going to be a case where I'm guessing that when Wrath of the Lich King comes out, I'm going to go back to WoW full time and like work through the Wrath of the Lich King content. But like, maybe if Warhammer Online can if they can keep producing new content for that and keep putting out stuff that keeps me interested in it, it might be something that I go back to.
Yeah, I might make the change. It kind of depends on if it really holds up by the time I hit level 40.
Yeah.
Ramen. I'm too cute. It's so cute. Eat your soup. 24/7. Every drunkard's best fucking dream.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. Check this camera out. Oh yeah.
See? Day one. TGS. We're dug in here in the trenches. Just waiting for the attack.
TGS is much smaller this year than it has been in years past. For instance, this is the shopping hall where you go and buy stuff at the shops. They've actually divided it in half from what it was last year because apparently they're using so little space.
Like E3, TGS is a withered husk of its former self. So very sad.
This is Tori Walker. I freelance for OneUp.com. Jeremy has passed off the HD mini camera to me, so we're walking around the marketplace looking for cool stuff to buy. I already spent a grip of money inside the Capcom booth, so I won't be going in there again because there's more stuff that I want. Unfortunately, they're all sold out of the coolest item. Right, so this is the shirt. You can see all the bosses here. And then on the back between the shoulder blades, it may be a little fuzzy. Mega Man getting smacked. That right there means not today, maybe tomorrow. Then also there's that awesome Mega Drive bag that I would pay 4,000 yen for, about $40 for, if it weren't so absolutely low quality. Jeremy can let me know how his holds up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Koji Igarashi is awesome. The best thing about TGS might actually be IREM's Earthquake Simulator. Just in case the rest of the show doesn't make you sick, this is guaranteed to. Disappointingly, no vomit.
これ温めてもらえますか？
温めで、はい。200円です。
It's gonna be so good. どうも。はい。どうも。Okay, these things are so good. If you've ever heard of Japanese rice balls, onigiri, this thing is like onigiri with bologna on top. It's like bologna giri. It's like bologna on top of mayonnaise, wrapped in some seaweed paper on top of rice. It's like the most delicious thing ever. Let's see, I can't read all that, but I can see that most of it's just cooked sausage. Don't know what type of sausage it is. Let's see what it looks like when you open it up. As you see here, it just says to pull from the top down. Let's get that open. And then it looks something like that. Let me get you some light. This is why I cannot lose weight. Let's try that out. Okay, that's just good. Make sure if you come to Japan that you get at least 2 or 3 of these. If you want them to warm it up for you, say "Atatamete moraemasu ka?" No, if that's too hard to say, just say "Chin shite kudasai." That means like throw it in the microwave until it goes ching. Hope you enjoy.
Alright. John, this is a surreal experience. You used to work at EGM. We both used to work at EGM.
Yeah. You more recently than me, though.
Yeah. And I have since gone on to be a layabout, whereas you have become a captain of the plush toy industry. But now I'm part of your entourage with the Ninjatown game, and you're here to show me.
You have a whole story arc here of going through Ninjatown. That's part of the deal. Is you're learning why Mr. Demon, who's the main antagonist, and his band of like very sweet devils are attacking Ninjatown. Why are they bringing dark syrup into Ninjatown? Like what's going on? So you find that out through the experience of playing.
Who designed the game? Was it you? Did you like do it on a napkin? How does it work?
Yeah.
Take us inside the process.
Post-it notes mainly. The producer of this game is Jeremy Pope, who is formerly with Rockstar Games. He was one of the producers on GTA 3 and Vice City, I believe, and we started talking about what the game could be, and basically, you know, Ninjatown being what it is, you know, the story existed, the characters existed, so it was really important that you know, we could find the right genre. It could be a lot of things, but then ultimately Jeremy came up with this idea to kind of take this sort of strategy route. And at first, I really didn't think it made sense, but then when we really started, when he explained it in more detail, it was like, wow, that actually makes way more sense than I ever imagined. So we just took it and ran with it.
But seriously, what does he know? He worked on GTA.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know anything. Ninjatown came from Designer Toys. That's you know that as our background.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got hooked up with South Peak, the publisher, and Venom, the developer of this game, and we started creating Ninjatown. So basically, it exists somewhere between more traditional RTS, and then a lot of people have kind of made the comparison to like tower defense style games. That's definitely true.
Yeah, or like a Pixel Junk Monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
PlayStation.
As you can see here, I'm using the D-pad to scroll around the map, and then the stylus is going to be used pretty much for everything else in terms of like HUD options and seeing what kind of health level your ninjas are at the moment.
But this game like uses all the DS crap too, though, because you can use the microphone for your magic and.
Yeah. I can as soon as we get enough Old Master Ninja points. This bar that you see in the upper left is the Old Master Ninja cane, and that fills up with happiness points as you destroy enemies. So as you destroy enemies, you're getting Ninja Star cookies, which is the currency, as well as happiness points. There's basically broken up into 3 levels, and each of those levels represents a different sort of level of Old Master Ninja power. We want to make sure that we keep that action-packed, like the fast pace of tower defense style games, but we also want some depth in terms of strategy. So being able to upgrade units and having a little bit more control over resources and special abilities and that sort of thing. As you're going around, you're placing these on these little lots here. You're deciding what lot you want to build on, and then you're figuring out which ninja might work best. Like in here, we have Wii Ninja, which is the well-rounded character, the Anti-Ninja, which is a strong character but slow, and then the Business Ninja, which is specific to, like, introduced in this district. So anytime something new happens, you're getting a heads-up display here that tells you about the enemy or the building or any of the other thing. It gives you the stats as well as a little descriptor. So on the upper screen, that's your heads-up display. So the guy in the hot air balloon is the Old Master Ninja. That's basically you acting as the general, controlling the action from above. So you see the entire playing field. You get an idea of what your units are doing, where enemies are coming from, and where they are currently on the map, as well as the currency that you have and the number of lives. And then at the bottom, it shows you the wave number that you're on, including the total number of waves, the amount of time you've taken on the map, as well as what enemies are on the horizon and what level they are.
These aren't the kind of ninjas you see on TNT, like movies of the
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, and these are more like, you get your business ninja he's got his spreadsheets.
Yep.
He's got gumption.
Mm-hmm. Cell phone. And like definitely the ninjas in this world are more about hugging than they are destroying or killing. So you have melee units and ranged units. The melee units will automatically engage any enemy that comes within range. And then the ranged units are more the projectile style. It's more of like the tower style. Sniper Ninja fires wasabi peas with a slingshot, and then the White Ninja throws the snowballs that will slow down and freeze the enemy.
I know you have support structures too.
The modifier buildings basically you place in the map, and any ninja units that are within range, it increases some attribute. In the case of the training dojo, it increases attack power. There's the guard tower, which increases range, and the green tea cafe basically increases the speed of any units that are within range. And the nice thing is especially in later levels when you're just destroying a lot of enemies, you're building up a lot of currency. So you have hundreds of cookies, and you can place multiple modifier buildings around like an arsenal of different huts. So each hut can have more than one modifier building attached to it. So the idea there is that on the surface there's this cartoony aesthetic, and you know, like this tongue-in-cheek humor and stuff, but underneath that is the gameplay, and it's like, you know, that just makes a lot of sense to us as we made the game. As you play through the game and you're discovering new districts and the story's progressing, the new ninjas and the new enemies are often introduced in that way, so they're kind of specific to an environment, and then you're able to use that unit for the rest of the game.
I was pretty pleased that there's a lot of gradual introduction to new types.
Like on the surface, it's pretty straightforward, you know, it's not like Command and Conquer, you know, where you're like that level of resource management or some of the other more hardcore RTS style games, but definitely wanted that, you know, so there's enough where you're really thinking about it, you know,
Yeah.
really thinking about what you're doing and not just mindlessly placing units. But basically, yeah, that's Ninjatown in a nutshell.
Hey guys, check out my awesome Nerf gun.
Whoa, I'm kind of scared, I'll admit.
What?
Needs to be pumped. That's adorable, but this is a Nerf gun.
What the fuck is that? Okay.
This it just does that. That's what that does. We just got this in the office. We had Cliff in last week, and of course he had fun with it.
They're getting bolder. Those gears were guarding Pomeroy Depot.
Damn, that's just down the road.
Exactly. They're moving deeper every day.
It's been 2 years since Gears of War 1, and, you know, finally got a chance to play significant portions of the single player Gears 2. You know, it felt really very similar to Gears 1. I mean, it looks similar. I mean, there are subtle differences, and the lighting's been improved. Like, the game does look better than it did, you know, first time around, but it still feels very much the same. It's that same, and I hate to use the term, but stop and pop gameplay where you're slamming into cover and you're taking out enemies and moving from point to point in these. You can almost have like mini arena battles, and you move from one mini arena battle to another. And, you know, starts out, you're back with some of your normal squad and some new guys. The new Carmine is, you find out it's actually his brother. And, you know, you got Dom and Marcus back, and
You got Ty in there.
Ty, good to see you. What are we looking at?
Locust Street. Follow me.
What's so cool is like every time you kill somebody with a new weapon, there's this variety, is a spice of death little thing that pops up, and I kind of like realized very early, like, oh, I get that every time I use a new weapon. So I would just run into a new weapon. I'm like, I gotta kill someone with it.
And, you know, it shows that you have these achievement trackers. Valve did it with the orange box, and they've probably done it with other games, but it's almost like you have a mini achievement building up to your main achievement, because if you're not someone that just actively goes after achievements, there are a lot of times you just won't get them because you won't go after them. But with this little reminder, like, I would do exactly what you just said. Like, every time I'd pick up a new weapon, like, I would make sure I used it so that I could then get that achievement.
So pretty early on, a couple of chapters in, they switch over to where, like, you go on this big, like, big tank thing, this big mobile personnel
Reminds
unit.
me of a
the grind loops.
and was the thing from Star Wars? I should know.
Yeah, you know, it kind of does look like that. And you kind of get placed up on a turret. And you were complaining about that part.
I played through the entire game on hardcore, and it was pretty easy. I'm doing really good. And then I die at the turret part, and I'm like, the first time I die is at like a point in the game where it's not like the core gameplay, and I was kind of frustrated at that.
And that sequence is tough though, because you have to go on the turret at certain points, but you also have enemies that are coming up the sides. You have enemies on other grind lifts that have taken them over, like Locust, and you're having to like gunfights in between those different grind lifts. Meanwhile, they're all driving independently of one another. You're moving through this kind of forest, so there's stuff going on like in every direction, and it's tough to keep track of sometimes. Show up in this town called Landown, which is up in the mountains, kind of a snow villa kind of deal. There's not much snow on the ground at this point. Everything's been kind of like run down. It's like a city that used to be a human enclave, but that's been overrun by locusts for a long time, and you're trying to like take it back. This is the first time you run into these tickers, who kind of replaced the Lambent Retros from the first game, the little guys that jump from the ceiling and then blow up. They were really frustrating, and when I first saw the tickers, I was like, oh shit, it's this all over again. But I found like the auditory clues that they're around, they make this like clicking noise, and so you immediately know one's around if you hear that.
once you identified them, you kind of would roll backward and shoot them or something.
Yes.
And even if they blew up, I didn't ever die. I just got down to red pretty much, but I was able to usually jump away and then kill them.
One of the new characters too, Dizzy, who's kind of.
He drives the truck.
Yeah,
thing,
he drives the grind lift, and he's kind of like a country boy. He's kind of like if they put Ted Nugent in the game.
Hold on, boys! Get your asses down there!
You're trying to take out the enemies so that Dizzy can move through with the grind lift. And at the end of the sequence, you finally get your hand on the mortar, which is like the other new heavy weapon, and it's really different than any other like weapon you use in the game, in that there is a bit of a learning curve to it.
Yeah, it has that little kind of click meter, you know. It's like as you hold the button down, it kind of goes up and up and up, shoots it off to that distance.
And then it leaves the little line from your last shot up, so you know whether to like release it before that or release it after it.
Yeah, and I think that first act ends really well then, because like you got a Brumac coming out of a cave, and you have to like clear him out to get in there.
This is the first time that you fought a Reaver on the ground. In the first game, they were just flying. They were kind of sort of generic Matrix-y looking characters. And so the first time they actually flew in and landed, which is in the first level, it was kind of surprising. Like, you really weren't expecting it. And your first thought is like, you know, how am I going to kill this big thing?
It's pretty scary because they're lashing out with their legs, kind of like they really just look like insects or something.
Yeah, and they shoot missiles out.
I would always shoot for like the rider first and knock him out. But you would go up there and like you would like plant a grenade on one of the legs.
You can roll up really close and throw a grenade in the underbelly and just kind of roll away and blow it up.
Like later on in the game, you know, you get to ride one of them.
And when you start out, you're underground and you're in the cave, and then you're shooting these huge Brumacs, and you fight a ton of Brumacs throughout the game.
It's almost like in Return of the Jedi, the speeder bike scene, like through the trees and stuff. And it's pretty fast and intense. You have guys like coming behind you, you're shooting them with a chain gun behind, and they kind of pull up parallel to you, so you turn over, use your missiles.
Feels very much like Panzer Dragoon, except you don't have like any auto aim or anything. You're just aiming and firing. So cool once you fight off all those locusts, like, you know, triggers the cutscene. You're getting ready to go onto the grind lift to, like, you know, fight the locusts, like more locusts underground this time. And that's when like you run into the general ROM for this game, which is this huge predator looking guy named Scourge.
He has like a staff with 2 chainsaw blades on either side, and it looks really cool. He's a badass.
For me, like, one of the most interesting parts of this whole first act is you start out in a setting that's very similar to the first game. It's kind of like a broken down city. You know, you've seen that before, but then through the course of the level, like, you go to so many different environments. You have, you know, forests, and you have snow villas, and then underground tunnels. It's so interesting to see that they change up the environments, and yet you still have that kind of core gameplay throughout.
That first act gives you a lot, you know, it takes you through a lot of gameplay elements. You kind of get a sense that, you know, this game's gonna keep mixing it up. Yeah. This first act was a lot of fun.
It's funny too, because like at that point I was like, oh, I wonder if this is just Gears 1.5, and then like the more you play, it's really cool to see like what they started at that first act, and like what's kind of like what they're setting you up for the rest of the game. Yeah. So,
and, you know, I can't wait till, you know, we can talk about the rest of the game, and then people get a chance to actually play it and see it for themselves.
Never seen the locusts run like this. Running away won't help. I'll just shoot you in your asses.
Rated M for mature.
Okay, so this is the command center. I've been controlling the air conditioning from here. It goes to L, M, and H. I like H. I don't know why.
What do you think that means?
Dude, it's low, medium, high. Let's move on. So, I like the do not disturb button. I've been making sure, like, that people don't come in the room. But the best thing is that you can control, like, the radio and the lights, and you saw us doing the thing, the drapes, but like check it out. Pretty amazing. Is it Microsoft? Is that a Microsoft party? Did we get invited to this? Look at all those tiny HD TVs. From here they look like not that HD.
They look pretty HD to me.
That's because you have a 4-inch Sony. Yeah, I wasn't lying about his TV look.
With my TV.
4-inch Sony. Fucking dumb bastard. And everyone left us to go get food.
Yeah.
So we want a drink.
Yeah. We want happiness in our bellies.
So
chew high. See, look. See, they're like cocktails in a can.
Why'd you give me all like the 1 yen pieces? These.
for reference, that's about $12 he's got in there so far. We're gonna buy some chew out.
Oh,
shit. I think we broke it.
You broke it.
Oh, fuck.